Good evening, Svaru. I am glad to be here with you again. And I am glad we can go into the subject of karma, an important one. From what I understand, your beliefs on this subject are really empowering, and I would love to share it with people. Let's go into this topic in more depth, please. Good evening, Gosha. And yes, it is one of the most important points to share. My concept of karma is different from not only the concept understood and accepted on earth, but it's also different from the concept of karma that other species, like the one the Andromedans have or use, accept. They, as well as many other star races, are very much afraid of karma, as in something you generate and cannot escape from, as in an inescapable reaction to an action of yours. Karma, as in an intertwining or the generation of a connection to something, an action, a person, a thought even. So that's why many star races don't want to get involved in Earth-related subjects for fear of generating karma, as in the problems of Earth will somehow become theirs as well. That's why I say that they fear karma. But I personally don't believe in paying any karma that way. I believe you don't have to pay karma. I differ from the Andromedans a lot in this subject of karma. In my opinion, it doesn't work that way. Note that the Andromedan concept of karma is the same one used on Earth and accepted by Buddhism, Shintoism and Hinduism, among others, because the Andromedans were their seeding culture. For me, karma is part of the matrix game. Be it the 3D matrix of the larger 5D matrix, it's all the same. It's like game money, like when you play a table game. You use toy money, but it's only valid while in the game. If you stop playing the game, the money is not valid. I feel the same, Svaru. I have always felt it this way too. From my perspective, here we are indeed inside a matrix of our own, a bigger one because it envelops many, countless planets, but it is a matrix. The limits of this expanded or primordial matrix would be what we would call the incarnated physicality, where you have a biological body, what we've also called 5D. So karma is, for me, part of the limitations, agreements, or characteristics of the primordial matrix. But it's only valid within the matrix. And also, it's only you and you alone who are administrating what goes on with yourself. The concept of accepting karma, its existence, or having to pay it, or how it works, is only a choice you make. As I've said before, it's like game money, monopoly money, funny money, and it only has any value as long as you are playing the game. And it has no value outside the game. Deciding as a soul that you must reincarnate because you owe karma to someone, something, or to whatever, is like playing Monopoly, then stopping the game when it ends, and as the game ended, you still owed a payment to whoever. You want to keep playing the Monopoly game until everything is paid off, but it will never be. Always something will be up. My point is that karma, having to pay it, feeling guilty of it, is only a choice you make. And most often than not, it's a choice you make because someone, the controllers, reptilians, archons, or whoever, may use the concept of karma to force you to reincarnate. But in the end, it's only you who decides to carry your karma or karma. Your choice and yours alone. To get rid of all karma, you must first understand this. Then you must let go. Forgive others and overall, forgive yourself. That's if your intention is not to go back, no longer reincarnate, at least on earth. Also, to understand this, you must see that there is no wrong and no good. It's only what you make of it. A choice again. But it's all concepts based on your own points of view and experiences. And the concept of good and evil is only relative to the observer. There is no good and no evil as such. In any case, the only thing that it all is a contraposition of interests, that's all. And it boils down to duality again. So in short, to escape the matrix, you must transcend duality. So the reason the souls choose to keep coming back is because they believe they still need to resolve something, yes? Yes. Because we believe that we didn't do something right, and we want to go back to try to do it right the next time around. This is tied to karma and having to pay it. We have to transcend that belief system to move on. We must understand that we do our best and that we will never ever get it entirely right. We must just get to the point of understanding that we must forgive others, and more importantly, we must forgive ourselves. We must all do our best in life and not hold on to any grudges of things we must do or try again. And we cannot do it for anyone else. It's an individual process. You can inspire. You can be an example to follow, but each consciousness, each person must do this work on their own from the inside of the 3D matrix. Otherwise, you will go back. Let's talk now about the situations like a 3-year-old child dying in a war zone. He put himself in that situation as well because he believed he needed to pay off or experience something. That real 3-year-old child that died in a war zone at the hands of an enemy soldier. As there is so much more to existence than just one 3D lifetime, as materialists claim, that child is not innocent. Taking in account how things tend to work in terms of guilt and perceived karma, that child probably was a soldier in his past life, and he cannot bear the guilt of having killed children, so he feels must go back to pay it. That's the concept the souls stick to. But it must stop. It just perpetuates suffering. Understanding that you must let things go will set your karma free. You are the only one who can impose karma or anything else upon yourself. No one punishes, and no one is judging you, only you. But there is no harder judge than yourself. The wheel of karma is a strong mental trap. I've said that karma is like funny money or game money, like when you pay playing Monopoly. That money, karma, is only valid while in the game, incarnated life. You only have to pay karma while you are playing the game. Just let it go. Exactly, it's what I feel too. It doesn't exist in itself. It's only real within the game. Yes, and that game rule was all hijacked to make you go back. So the child who went back maybe indeed he was a soldier in the past. That part could be true. But him coming back as a starving child, it happened because he bought into the belief that he had to, right? Exactly. Once you realize this, you don't have to pay anything. I wonder, how come the Andromedans still believe in this kind of karma? Believing, for example, that you, Taigetans, should be here, among other races, to pay off something you were a part of in the past. Many races still believe in old karma concepts, and those concepts were imported from 5D people into Earth, mainly in the Far East. The Andros, the Andromedans, must also change those old concepts for their own good, now. The concept of a negative force, a trap, an archontic figure on the other side of death waiting for you, stop you from leaving Earth and making you go back, reincarnate. This is my take on that. Each person is full of ideas the matrix and the life there imposed on it. All the guilt, all the things they think they should pay, all that is matrix, because the people are the matrix. So there is more matrix on the other side of death, because the people take it there with their consciousness when they die. So I see no need to implement a trap or to place a police force there to stop the souls from escaping, because each soul will take all the concepts necessary to cause its own reincarnation. They are mind-controlled. They do take that mind control to the other side. I see no net. I see no archontic force imposing anything on the souls, because they cannot do that. It goes against the primordial law of free will. They can get around that because if the people who die are brainwashed, they will want to go back in. They have no need for anything else but the same brainwashing they have always done. Okay, it makes perfect sense. Yes. If you see the law of attraction, you will notice that someone that is living a horrible life full of sorrow and suffering, like a child living in misery, taking for granted he is real, will only see horrible things around him, so he will only attract more of those things. Law of attraction. This is also happening in not so dramatic lifetimes. If you are mostly at a less than 50% good life, a 48% good is more of the bad, then you will also bring more of the same to you. That's the trap. Yes, I see. And why did that child living in misery choose to be born there, if he knew this is what he will see and recreate? Probably forced himself to go back, because he felt he had a lot to pay. Many wrongdoings in his past lives. That must stop. I mean it. Free yourself. Excellent, thank you. We will do our best, Varu. I have some questions now. You are welcome. Okay, go ahead. You said those other races like Andromedans were afraid of karma, respecting it as a law, etc. And you said they shouldn't because it's a monopoly money and not valid outside of the game. However, we, including you in higher matrix, are still in the game, right? We have not finished it. So while at it, even in the 5D matrix, the rules still abide. And so does karma, doesn't it? Yes, they do. Yet you are stating this valid point of view about karma as seen from within the game. But the concept I gave you above is a concept from higher dimensions of yourself, as looking down upon the primordial matrix. Karma as a problem for reincarnation, and that happens outside of the matrix. I mean, it was an expanded concept of karma as seen from, or almost, from source. Now, even from within the game, you also have a say about karma. From within the game there is also a say. It's not a fixed law, and you don't have to die or to be in the higher planes to use this. As in not taking on a burden of a karma just because you are still in the game. You, while living, can decide enough is enough and decide to dissolve your karma. While you dissolve it, refuse it to abide by it, this is when you stop reincarnating and go back to other densities? I would say it's the main reason to stop reincarnating, because it's connected to many things that must be done and understood in order to successfully erase, dissolve karma. I mean, in order to really, genuinely, for yourself to be able to dissolve karma, you must do enough spiritual work, shadow work, to transcend duality for yourself. And that must be done from this side, the incarnated side. To stop reincarnating on Earth or reincarnating in general, including 5D? Both, but especially reincarnating on Earth, because karma there is used as a weapon to convince, force people to go back because they have so much to pay. Why does it need to be done from incarnated side? Because there are too many distractions on the other side. You are too happy and fulfilled to be free of physicality, to even care about karma. Yet you do go back because of many reasons. And because in the case of Earth, when you die and you don't have things straight in your mind, not to say head, as you no longer have one, you are dead, you may be easily convinced to return. When you die, you are still you. Your ideas, values are still you. There is also matrix on the other side, and I mean what we call 3D matrix. So you are only one level up, but your karma, funny money, is still valid there in the afterlife. But it's still only valid because even dead, you are still playing the game. So you must have full intent before you die to say, I'm no longer playing your game. Either you want to go back to source, or you want to play another game, incarnating in another planet. But you are clear in your mind about what you want. And you impose yourself upon whoever you may find as a gatekeeper on the other side, who may want to force you to go back. You must state that you are source. You do not accept karma, as you will never ever be able to pay it. You are free because you are source, and you have free will, and you will be free. As you are coming into the afterlife from an incarnated state, you are full of matrixed ideas and values that are still or could still limit you. Only ideas limit you. When you die, you still carry your ideas. It's who you are as an ego before freeing itself and becoming a self. Free yourself from the incarnated side, and you will always be free. And the nature of the game is to find your way home in spite of the limitations. If you have an idea about anything that even smells like duality, then you are still matrixed. When in the incarnated side, you will always have some ideas, true, but at least minimize them. Or understand that you must have a certain schizophrenia where you can think as a light being in higher realms and at the very same time also function as an incarnated person with all the roles to follow, etc. You fight the reptiles, you are their nemesis. So you have some sort of duality too, even there, right? Yes, that's the schizophrenia I was talking about. Yes, I think I do have the schizophrenia too. I feel myself as a dissolved energy being and, at the same time, being conscious of roles within the game I'm playing. It's like I am conscious of both identities existing at the same time. And it's somehow possible to be both. And I feel I am in harmony with both somehow. Yes, same for me. You can be both. That's what I feel I am too. A light being and a woman. Okay, going back to karma. So this concept was imported from the Andromedans. Yes, it was seeded by the Andromedans. That's why it is so much like theirs. The current concept is very old, probably over 1 million years old, linear. No way to confirm such time though. But Tibetans have another way of seeing karma, and that's the one I'm giving you as something that you do control and you are not a victim of, like with the Andromedan model. Karma simply means movement, like in the things you've done so far, like the movement of your credit card statement. The how you interpret it as good or bad is really up to you. And where did the Andromedans get their concept from? I don't know. I dare to say that they developed it. The Andromedan karma model is the most widely extended one and in use in the galaxy. Are they 5D too? Yes, they are 5D. Their ship is parked next to this one just here. They developed the karma concept, but on Earth they made it more like 3D adaptation that included other things that only made it more complicated. Things like individual karma, family karma, regional karma, national karma, world or planetary karma. Also, a Katansya karma that is very severe, Kamaduro and Karmasaya as earth or Terran concepts added to the Andromedan model. As with studying the Bible, you can dedicate a lifetime to study this karma subject. But in the end, it's only making everything more complicated, with the human tendency to direct everything to try to understand, only overcomplicating things and not explaining the real concept, part of materialism as a thought strategy. We here see karma as something a lot simpler. The thoughts, concepts and attachments we may generate and take into our next incarnation. Okay, so these things such as family karma, regional karma, etc., you mean these are earth constructs, earth complications, and as such they don't exist? Yes, although the Andromedans may have something similar, more like an expanded karma due to your agreements and family attachments. But the concepts I described above are human, Terran. And I wouldn't say they don't exist. I would say they need to be revised as they are old and outdated. Personally, I think they only exist because the ones who use them take those concepts seriously. They exist for them. So, saying that something is old and outdated implies that concepts are in movement for you. There are no constants as far as concepts are concerned? That's right. Everything changes. Everything is dynamic. The only constant is change. But here I mean that as we all evolved, we sat down, so to speak, and we analyzed what we could continue to include in our worldview after thousands of years of incarnations and reincarnations. So the new concept is our conclusion. In short, you carry karma because you choose to carry it. Let it go. You said above the concept of karma is much simpler for you, simply as thoughts and attachments you carry. Credit card movements. Can you explain a bit more? Imagine as you go walking through your life, everything you do, everything you even think is written. Also, the 3D matrix, 5D as well, will read your movements and intentions as you go about your daily life. So it reflects back to you what you ask for, based on where your attention and focus is. These are the movements, your actions, your decisions, and also as seen as cause and effect. As in this movement, decision you made will cause this other outcome. Also, there can be so many ways to defining karma that what is real for one may not be for another. As a cause and effect, in this sense, yes, it's real. It's what moves the matrix, how it reads you and reflects what you focus on. If karma is just ripples of our actions, can we dissolve those ripples, the effects of the cause? Are ripples dissolvable? Those ripples are in your mind. Yes, you can dissolve them and control them at will. Well, because you said karma as a cause and effect are real. This made me think ripples cannot be dissolved. That to every action there is always a ripple reaction, the law. Okay, it is. But the universe itself was made by who? Me. By you. So you can change the rules, even from 3D. How do I change the ripples? By the intention is enough? How? Making another belief true to you, another rule to replace an older one. Example. Do you know the Iceman? No. This man completely changed the rules of his reality, and he is teaching others to do so as well. What he can really achieve is unreal and literally impossible within 3D matrix rules. This man went all the way up to the summit of the Everest in shorts and no shirt. He also walked through Mojave Desert with no water, and he didn't even get tired. Other people can do other things, like drink poison or walk through fire. It's common that people may lift an entire car because they had to. What I am trying to convey here is very real. You can change your reality and become masters of matter and time and mind. First, by becoming aware of all those limiting ideas, comprehending them well, and then taking baby steps to overcome the problem, little by little. I would like to ask about the people and cultures who do not have the concept of karma. When I was growing up as a Catholic, we never heard of it. We were told we go straight to heaven if we are good. That means, since our beliefs generate the reality, then that was the case? We never reincarnated because we didn't have a concept of karma? So people in those traditions go straight to source or outside of the wheel? Catholics have the concept of sin that may be comparable to karma. Yes, I was thinking of that exactly, the sin. The problem about reincarnation is that it was an accepted concept for the Catholic Church until the Middle Ages. The Vatican had to eliminate the concept because the people who were being badly exploited by the Church itself were committing suicide in a massive level. This amendment about reincarnation occurred between the year 850 and 900 AD. People go to the exact location that is a match to their frequency. That is, to their level of consciousness. And yes, what they believe in, they will see when they die. But that's because the higher you go in realms, the easier it is to manifest things. So the matrix itself and a mirroring effect will automatically fill in their expectations as they die. They will manifest their own post-mortem reality. In the case of the Catholics who do not believe in reincarnation, first we must notice that only some Catholics truly dismiss reincarnation, because it's so bluntly obvious even from 3D. But those who do not, truly do not, will at first manifest their expectations. Then, agents of the system, archons, will come to them and they will offer them the chance to redeem their sins with another incarnation, or else suffer the eternal fire of hell. The poor manipulated souls will willingly reincarnate. As you can see, there is still matrix on the other side. You must focus and have a clear intention to go out of the matrix and back to source to be able to escape. That's my message, my intention, and my work today. What about people who don't have any concepts? No karma, no sin, and they are real, just sleeping. Where will they go after they die? Since it is the beliefs that direct where we go. They will not be trapped by wheels of karma since they don't believe in it, by the sins either, by archons either. What happens to them then after they die? If they truly believe they are free, then they are. They are source and will go back to source, where they will decide whether they will reincarnate, where and when and if. They are free. Then in a way it is better to be a sleeping real person and atheist than born in any of the religions. Yes, as for the recent starseeds, they have a sort of a Teflon cover to avoid karma, to be able to go home. When you die, you can either choose to awaken from the immersion sleep, if you are in one. Many starseeds are here in immersion states, or go back to source. That's your choice and yours alone. You must always be free. Anyway, even if you choose source, your immersed self will still wake up, as timelines do cross over all the time. So you will both go back to source and awake at the same time. It's not one or the other. Oh wow, that's so interesting, and perhaps the topic of another chat, the immersed starseeds. Yes, what I really try to convey today with karma is enough of that game, go home. Or at least incarnate as something else in another planet, no longer the same over and over. A 100% perfect life cannot be done ever. It's a trap. You cannot ever get everything right. Go home. Let things go. Forgive others and overall, forgive yourself. I really, really mean it. Thank you, Svaru. We will do our best from here, I promise. Thank you. Thank you, Gosha.